Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
With just 4 days remaining until opening day, Kevin Cash and the Rays are ready to put the finishing touches on spring training in Port Charlotte. Today, left-hander Drew Smyly makes his final tune-up before slotting into the second spot in the Rays rotation. Rays, Red Sox from Charlotte Sports Park starts now. We welcome you to Charlotte County, Florida. A perfect day for spring training baseball. Clear skies, scattered white clouds overhead as the Rays meet their American League East Division rival, the Boston Red Sox. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Not many days left in spring training. In fact, this is day number 39. And the Rays feel they've answered some questions.
Well, I think overall, when you think about spring training, getting down towards the end is what is the health of the team. And outside of Brad Boxberger, I think the overall health is in good shape. You look at the offseason acquisitions. They've acclimated themselves well to this lineup and to this team. And they played well, by the way. And on top of that, all facets of the Rays game have steadily improved throughout spring training. And I think with a few days to go, they feel like they're in good shape.
At the end of the day, pitching remains the bread and butter of this ball club. And Drew Smyly will be on the mound. He is a very big part of this rotation.
Well, since coming over to the Tampa Bay Rays, Drew Smyly, when he's been healthy and on the mound, he has been nothing short of sensational. You see the overall numbers there. That opponent's average jumps out at you at 201. What he does is he works from a steep angle on the mound. He's able to work down in the zone with the fastball. He's able to elevate the fastball. Then you think about the curveball coming into play along with the changeup, and he gives a hitter a whole lot to think about.
We have baseball for you here this afternoon. Rays and the Red Sox. We'll also hear from Jake Odorizzi in the bottom of the second inning. The Rays skipper, Kevin Cash, in the bottom of the third. And pitching coach Jim Hickey will talk with us when we get to the bottom of the fifth inning. Rays and the Red Sox coming up. Red Sox, a split squad, but they have brought some of their big bats, including Big Poppy. Back with the first pitch from Charlotte County in a moment. Back at Charlotte Sports Park, the spring home of the Tampa Bay Rays. As the Rays take the field, they are 11-11 this spring, 6-5 here in their home park. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the Boston Red Sox. Rock Holt's going to lead it off, followed by Dustin Pedroia and then Xander Bogaerts. So number of their regulars in this lineup. You see David Ortiz, he'll retire after this year. Hanley Ramirez at first. Travis Shaw making an extended effort to be the everyday third baseman for the Red Sox. That's an interesting story. Craig Bradley Jr. and Leon 7, 8, and 9.
And they will be going up against the Rays left-hander, Drew Smyly, his final tune-up here in spring training. You can see what he did last year in limited action, limited by that shoulder, but came back strong, has had a very good spring, and you'd like today to see him get to 4 innings, 60 pitches or fewer would be ideal for Drew. Let's take a look at the defense and see how that's going to line up behind him here this afternoon. In the outfield, left to right, we have Corey Dickerson, Brandon Geyer, and Mikey Matuk. And across the infield, third to first, Steve Pearce, Brad Miller, Tim Beckham, and James Loney with Kurt Casale behind the plate.
Well, Drew Smyly will be the number 2 pitcher in the Rays rotation. So after Chris Archer opens the season against the Toronto Blue Jays at Tropicana Field on Sunday, it will be Smyly's turn in game 2 of that series. And so Drew to get some work today. And Kevin Cass figures somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 innings, 60 pitches or so. First pitch of this game, and Brock Holt looks at a strike. Underway here, it is 79 degrees. Could top the 80 mark before the afternoon is complete. Smyly has been very impressive. In fact, the left-handed starters for the Rays, Matt Moore and Drew Smyly, have really caught the attention of a lot of people, including Kevin Cash and Jim Hickey.
Well, when you add that left-handed element to go along with your right-handers, Chris Archer, Jake Odorizzi, when you get the full 5 starters, Erasmo Ramirez, and you can stagger them with the quality and changing the side, boy, dangerous.
Loney handles this one unassisted. Brock Holt, first hitter up, first hitter retired, 1 away.
Not only that, and we talked about it, in the open, when you talk about what Drew Smyly brings to the starting rotation. When he came over to the Rays, there were some tweaks made to his game, some suggestions made by pitching coach Jim Hickey and the organization. Drew Smyly took to them very well, and you could see him take his game to another level. He throws a lot of strikes. He uses the entire strike zone.
Pedroia on the ground to Miller, and the throw right there. So Pedroia is out on the first pitch. It's Brad Miller at shortstop, and early in the spring had a little throwing issue here and there, and came to the Rays with that in his background. But the Rays, from Kevin Cash to Tom Foley to Matt Silverman, all think he's going to settle in and give the Rays a solid shortstop.
And I'll tell you, you have some issues early in spring training, and you tend to start to focus on fixing those issues. And when it comes to throwing the baseball, we know that Brad Miller's got a strong enough arm. Throwing the baseball accurately, whether it's out in the field or from the pitcher's mound, behind the plate, it's footwork. You get your feet where they're supposed to be, the ball will follow. And so that's what you work on with a shortstop like Brad Miller, and it's reps, reps, reps. And, he's to his credit of putting the work in, has gotten better as spring has gone along.
Bogart's checked on the pitch, and it's now 1-2. Funny how this works out, and you've heard it about infielders before. On the bang bang play, he's fine. Give him a little time, then that's when things start to go the other way.
Footwork. When you get too much time, maybe there's an extra shuffle in there.
That's a line right down to Loney. Talk more about that as the afternoon progresses. 3 up, 3 down in the first. Rays coming in to hit. Again to hit, no score as they play the Red Sox this afternoon. Brandon Guyer is going to be the leadoff hitter for them today, followed by Brad Miller. Then Steve Pearce, another new face in this lineup, followed by another one. Corey Dickerson gets cleanup. The DH is Steven Souza Jr., James Loney, Tim Beckham, Mikey Montouk, and Kurt Casale will hit ninth.
And they'll be going up against the right-handed pitcher here for the Boston Red Sox, William Cuevas. You can see what he did last year in the minor leagues, 26 starts, and that was combined AA and AAA. Then he went to winter ball down in Venezuela, played for La Guaira, got some innings in there so that you could come into camp ready to go, and here he is.
Brandon Guyer is stepping in. He's had a great spring. And jumps on the first pitch, lining it foul. Out of play.
Now get used to that. First pitch, hittable pitches out over the plate. We've seen this Rays lineup be very aggressive. Brandon Guyer, one of the more aggressive.
That's a base hit. Out of Pedroia's reach, picked up by Craig. And Guyer now hitting over 500 for the spring. He's 10 out of 19.
Brandon Guyer gets so much playing time against lefties. Here against the right-hander, the first pitch fastball, he yanks foul up the third base line. Now a fastball away. He waits back. He takes it into right field. A great adjustment from pitch to pitch leads to a single.
And here is Brad Miller hitting second in the Rays lineup.
Brad Miller stands in, batting left against the righty.
He takes that one for a ball. A lot of the focus has been on Miller's defense, but you can't overlook the offense. Another left-handed bat added. 3 left-handed bats added to this lineup over the offseason, and Miller's going to be an important one. Time called, no pitch. And you know, we're talking about his defensive work, and the Rays are legitimately confident that he's going to be just fine at shortstop. And the offensive side of what he will bring is a plus.
Well, he has a real chance to be the answer. To be the answer at shortstop, a guy that you can throw out there each and every day. You talk about his bat. You know, this is a big ballpark. 414 to center field. He went off the batter's eye early in spring training. That's a ball jumping off of a bat. That's some pop.
That's a shot. Right center field. Well tagged. One hops the wall. Guyer's going to be waved around, and Miller's going to dig for 3. The throw is in time. He doubles home a run and is thrown out, trying to stretch it into 3. So the Rays take the lead on the double by Brad Miller, and he's caught at third.
A lot of early fastballs by Cuevas, and Rays hitters have jumped on him. That ball right into the wheelhouse of Brad Miller. Boy, does a great job of staying back, driving that ball with power out to right center field. Pretty good relay here by Boston to get up at third.
Steve Pearce, the hitter. So the run batted in by Miller. The Rays take an early lead. Two and 0 now. Dustin Pedroia in the middle of that putout at third, with Shaw putting the tag on him. Pearce up in the count. Boy, if Pearce delivers the kind of hits for the Rays that he got against them, then this is a great addition. 3-1.
We're just taking him away from the opposition.
You don't have to face him.
You don't have to face him anymore. He has feasted, especially at Tropicana Field.
Right back to Cuevas. That's the second out.
Number 10,
So with the run home, the bases are empty. 2 gone for Corey Dickerson. And another key acquisition.
I think about that right here in this ballgame. 2, 3, and 4 guys that fit in to the Rays' philosophy of being a little bit more aggressive. And you add them, along with Logan Morrison, to an offense that in the last 2 months of the season last year was very, very productive.
Right side. And that will take care of the Rays here. A run home, and the Rays lead 1-0. Around the corner, and as you probably heard already, it's a sellout. Join us for the next big weekend at Tropicana Field, April 15th through the 17th, celebrating Kevin Kiermaier's Platinum Glove. Sunday, April 17th, Ken's got a Kiermaier glove presented by the Florida Division of Emergency Management. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com.
Does that glove come with a guarantee to catch everything?
If it does, somehow we've got to get in on that action.
I'll be in line with everybody else.
Yep. 1-0 the count here to David Ortiz. A little chop foul. So Ortiz said when he hit 40 after the season last year that this was going to be his final season. So if that indeed holds true, this would be his final appearance here in Port Charlotte. The spring home of the Rays. Now 3-1. Career numbers for David Ortiz. 3 World Series titles and over 500 home runs.
Well, that's a lot of damage. A lot of hurt feelings.
Well, he found a home with the Red Sox. You could see that power when he came up with the Twins, but boy, has he done a job with Boston. Out on strikes. Right there, first strikeout for Smiley.
Boy, that almost looked like it had a little bit of cut to it. It was 88 miles an hour, down and away, and I think that's exactly what it was. You talk about a cutter with some depth. Boy, oh boy, what a weapon.
You know, that's the thing about Smiley. He can control the tempo, and he has a wide arsenal. And he's not as comfortable to hit against as you might think just by watching him. And we've seen hitters have strange swings at him. He's not the easiest guy to follow.
Starts with the arm angle. You know, very rarely do you see guys working almost directly over the top anymore. And so Drew Smiley able to stay tall. He's tall and lanky. He works over the top, but it's that ability to elevate. He can elevate the fastball, and he can drive it down in the zone. And so hitters have a lot of room to cover. And you're right, some of the swings, talking about off balance.
Facing Hanley Ramirez here. You mentioned all the pitches he throws discussing him in our open, including the changeup. And that's a pitch that we saw occasionally last year. It's been more prevalent this spring, and a good one.
It's all about confidence with the changeup. You have to throw that with the mindset that you're throwing a fastball. And that's where the deception comes through the arm speed. That wasn't the best located changeup, but guess what? Arm speed sold it. He got the swing and a miss.
It's a big chop fair and a long throw from Pierce, and it's scooped by Loney on the short hop. Ramirez out number 2.
Steve Pierce going back behind the bag in foul territory. It's a long throw, just a hair short, but James Loney, we know he's a good glove man. Nice pick.
We see Pierce at third, Loney at first. Pierce can play a number of positions. Then there's still some question about what the future holds for the Rays and James Loney. We should start to get some answers here over the next few days. Travis Shaw chopped down to first. That's fair. And so Travis Shaw out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the second inning. We'll be chatting with Jay Godorizzi.
Hey.
Rays moving into the bottom of the second inning, picking up a run in the first against the Red Sox, and so they hold a 1-0 lead. We're happy to have Jake Odorizzi join us from the dugout. Jake, nice to see you. Spring has gone well, and I would assume that you can't wait to get started.
Yeah, nice to hear from you guys again. Not to see you, but yeah, we're ready to go. We're ready to get back up and get things started.
Hey, Jake, a lot of guys, they come in every season wanting to work on something, take a weakness, turn it into a strength. Was there any one thing that you came into spring training this year and said, I really want to lock this down and get better in this area?
Just off speed in general. I was very split heavy from my pitch selection last year, so I just want to work on all my other off-speed pitches going into this season. So that's been my main focus, and then obviously for just pitchers in general, filling up the strike zone and avoiding all walks as possible.
Jake, BA and I've talked about the offensive additions to this lineup, and you've been involved in so many low-scoring games. I can't believe there's another pitcher who would be happier than you to see what's happened with this lineup and the acquisitions.
Yeah, definitely. We can always use more offense no matter how good of one we had, but we made a lot of additions to address those issues, and I think that speaks a lot to our ownership that they went out there and tried to neutralize the problem. And I think we're in for some high-scoring games this year. We can compete with those teams that are putting up big runs, and we're obviously trying to limit that from our standpoint. But I think we have the ability to compete with some high-scoring games if we need to get in them this year.
Now Steven Souza Jr. putting down a bunt to open this one, thrown out. Pitcher first, and here's James Loney looking at a strike.
Hey, Jake, you talk about the ceiling of this starting rotation. I mean, a lot of people will say one of the best in Major League Baseball. I know that you five would say the best in Major League Baseball, but just talk about what this starting rotation can accomplish.
I don't really think we have a ceiling, to be honest. We're a very tight-knit group, and I think everybody has their own ability to make their case for being a quote-unquote #1 starter. That's how we picture it. We have 5 #1 starters, and whoever's pitching that day is the #1. So I think it all starts with us. We try to go out there and establish, as many zeros as we can, keep us in the game, and let the offense and defense do the rest. But for us, we just want to go out there and be consistent, stay healthy. And if we can stay healthy, then who knows what we're capable of doing. But it all starts with health, and everybody's healthy right now. So, knock on wood. It's hard to say that going into a season for us typically, but thankfully we are healthy this year and as a team.
Jake, how does it feel this spring? Is it any different? You came to the club, and now you've had 2 full seasons under your belt. You come into camp this spring. Any different? Is there more of a sense of approaching veteran status now as you work your way through the spring?
It's hard to say veteran status when I myself only have 2 years, but it's felt like I've been here for quite a while. I think that's just the nature of us as an organization. We're a younger organization from a player standpoint, and if you have 2 or 3 years, it's more like 5 or 6 when it's compared to other organizations, because we just have that turnover. We get a lot of guys new that are making their way into the big league. So I think from a standpoint, you have to just kind of usher those guys in as we were, as other guys did for us. And we just want to show guys the way, and if they have questions, they know they're always open to ask us. And we'll do our best to point them in the right direction or just help them out any way possible, because there was a lot of guys that did the same thing for us when we were coming up.
Oh, there's a lot of good feeling in this camp about spring and the season ahead. There's some confidence there. Here's Beckham sending a fly ball to center.
Not today.
And Bradley Jr. there to catch it. We're looking forward to that first series against Toronto. Jake, we wish you all the best, and I think it's going to be a fun year.
I agree. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on. I'll see you throughout the year.
Appreciate the visit. We're through 2. Rays have a 1-0 lead. Lead. We go to the 3rd inning. Reminder, opening day is just 4 days away. Tune in next Sunday as the Rays take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Our coverage begins at 3 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Sun. Another season rolling right around. It will be Chris Archer making the opening day start for the Rays against that tough lineup put together by Toronto. Alan Craig fouls away the first pitch. There's a strike. There's Chris Archer. He got some work done here yesterday in an intra-squad game at the complex here. 1-1 the count. So he's ready to go. At the top of the Rays rotation. Rotation figures to be Archer, then Smiley, then back to Odorizzi, the right-hander, and then back to the lefty, Matt Moore. And boy, Matt Moore has thrown the ball so well this spring.
Well, he sure has, and it started at the end of last season where Matt Moore got into a really good roll his last 4 or 5 starts. And these are the 4 you're talking about, Dwayne. Early on in the season, the Rays with so many off days, they've been afforded the opportunity to take Erasmo Ramirez and put him out into the bullpen to help out there while Brad Boxberger recovers. And so early on, you're going to go lefty, righty, and then just keep rolling right through 4 quality arms starting you off, and you hope that everybody's locked in early because that Toronto Blue Jay lineup that you just talked about, how powerful they are. It's going to be a great matchup.
Strike 3 call to Craig to open the 3rd. That's the 2nd strikeout for Smiley.
And just kind of lulls you to sleep with all the different pitches up and down, and there's an off-speed breaking ball right there. Just catches Alan Craig flat-footed.
Jackie Bradley Jr. You talk about all those off days. The Rays will have 8 off days of the first 47 days of the new season. And so that gives the Rays the opportunity to do exactly what they're doing. Start the year with a 4-man rotation, and Erasmo Ramirez is in the bullpen. Take a look at what Ramirez meant to this team last year. And look how strong that finish was.
It was a tough start to the year. A couple of really rough outings for Erasmo early on, but all of a sudden he just continued to work with pitching coach Jim Hickey. They continued to refine his arsenal, got him attacking the strike zone, using that very good changeup of his, sweep the breaking ball, fill the strike zone with quality strikes with the fastball, and boy did he take off and really bought in.
And BA as a pitcher, it's not easy to do what they're going to ask him to do, and he may be the perfect guy to fill that role. There are going to be times out of the bullpen they may extend him, maybe they won't. It will be different roles out of that bullpen. He's not strictly a long guy. He's too valuable for that. He's going to fill a number of situations depending on how a game stacks up. And there's Bradley Jr. looking at a pitch for strike 3.
And that would be, if you had any concern with Erasmo Ramirez, that would be it. He's worked and gotten into a really good rhythm, got onto a regular rotation through spring training. You stretch his pitch count out, and then all of a sudden, you're going to go to the bullpen. So you're going to walk that fine line between making sure that he stays sharp, because I think Erasmo Ramirez, by virtue of how he pitches, the movement on the fastball, the very good changeup, he's a rhythm type of pitcher. He's not a power guy that's just going to come in and blow you away. So a rhythm pitcher, you want to make sure that he stays in good rhythm, which means he needs use. And so that's the balancing act that you're going to find the Rays, having to walk early in the season to make sure that he has that work in, so when he jumps back in the rotation, there's no hiccup.
Well, we're going to be chatting with Kevin Cash here coming up in the bottom of the 3rd, and we can get into that discussion with him as the manager and a former catcher. And Leon is out on strikes. Impressive there for Smiley, taking care of the bottom part of the order, striking out the side. We'll chat with the Rays skipper when we return. 1-0 lead moving into the bottom of the third with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Statson. We're pleased to have Kevin Cash, the Rays manager, join us. And Kevin, I know that right outside with Smiley, the idea was maybe 4 innings and 60 pitches, 3 innings, 37 pitches. You might have to extend him a few more innings at this rate.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him a couple extra outs here this next inning. But, man, he looks sharp. He's looked sharp all spring. It's been the camp of the left-handers, man. Matt Moore, Drew Smiley, and also Enny Romero. They've been outstanding. It's been fun to watch them.
What does that give you? I mean, what your overall feel of this team heading into the season, 3 or 4 days out? I mean, how do you feel about them?
We feel really good. We feel really good about those guys specifically, but just about the club, the way it's come together. You know, the Cuba trip was it was probably great timing to get away from spring training and just the grind of it, and then we get back here a little more energized, and the guys have they've really intensified things here all spring, but for the most part here the last week or so.
Mikey Montook pops it to the left side, and this is Shaw. That ball just fair, and that's the first out. Well, here we are, last few days of spring training. You've had the challenge of losing Boxberger at the end, and so talk with us a little bit about that.
Well, it is a challenge. It's going to be a challenge to manage that until he gets healthy. But you know, we're fortunate with our schedule that we're able to go with a 4-man rotation to start off, and then that allows us to put Erasmo Ramirez into the bullpen. And when I say go into the bullpen, he's going into, if he's got to close a night, he'll close. If he's got to pitch 2 or 3 innings, he'll do that. He's about as versatile as any pitcher that we have, and we all know what he's capable of, how special he is, what he provided for us last year. So we're fortunate that in. We definitely view Erasmo as one of our starting pitchers, but for right now, he's going to go help us in another area.
What's the level of concern that Erasmo Ramirez gets enough work to stay in good rhythm so that when he's popped back into the rotation, he hasn't missed a beat?
Minimal, because we know whatever innings he provides are going to be quality innings. So if he gets into a situation where we got to build him up a little bit and extend him for 2 or 3 outings to get him built up where they can go that 5-6 inning threshold, we'll do that. But right now we're going to worry about trying to win ball games right out of the gate, and then when the time comes to get him back in the rotation, we'll see where we're at then.
2-2 here on Kurt Casale, and the count's going to run full. Well, again, here we are in spring training. Despite a loss of Boxberger, it would appear that when you look at position players, it's going to be the second out of the inning, that this camp, despite an injury or two, has really been a camp of abundance. You're trying to figure out what to do with the numbers that you have.
Yeah, we are. And we said that from day one. That's what championship clubs do. They have difficult decisions. And, you know, we have been healthy much more than last year, where we were looking for people last year. I think this year everybody has stayed healthy with the exception of Box, and now it's kind of up to the staff and our front office to make some tough decisions that will probably be coming here in the next couple days.
Yeah, it would appear that not only should this club be a pretty good team, but the Durham club should be a pretty good club as well.
Yeah, and we need that, because we saw it firsthand last year how much we rely on those players that start the year down there. Just because you start down there doesn't mean you're not part of what we're doing up here. And, you know, you can say that about a lot of guys. And we saw it firsthand with Matt Andriese, Mikey Montook, guys that came up and really contributed for us last year.
Yeah, it's more than the 25 guys you leave camp with, that's for sure. And we're looking forward to it all beginning in a few days. And, Kevin, we appreciate the time here.
Man, I am too. I'm looking forward to it also. Thanks.
Rays lead 1-0 through the front 3. Through the first 3 for Drew Smyly, 4 strikeouts. Retired the first 9. And there's a strike to Brock Holt to begin the 4th. One and one. You know, BA, it's going to be an interesting, when you look at the rotation, it's an interesting collection of arms and approaches. When you go Archer, follow him with Smyly, and then Odorizzi, follow him by Moore. Not only are you going righty-lefty, righty-lefty, but the approach of these pitchers not exactly the same day after day after day after day.
It's something that you love to see coming out of the bullpen. You want a lot of different styles that you can mix and match with, but the Rays are going to get that from their starting rotation like you talked about. I mean, Chris Archer, your prototypical right-handed power pitcher with devastating slider. Then you go to Drew Smyly. He's not going to blow you away with velocity, but he is going to mix in a lot of strikeouts. He's got a pretty good strikeout rate, since coming over to the Rays by working the entire strike zone from an over-the-top angle. Well, then guess what? Jake Odorizzi, what do we talk about with him all the time? Works the entire strike zone, in and out, up and down. And then Matt Moore, the ability to flood that fastball in, let her high, and play the changeup and the curveball off of that. A lot of different styles. And when Jake said, and I thought he said something that was really interesting about the starting staff, the idea, fill up the strike zone. Fill up the strike zone, pitch aggressively, pitch from out in front. And if they do that, that's when they dominate, and they're all capable of it every single night they hit the mound.
Well, you know how it is as a pitcher on the really good nights that you would have. I'm sure you went out there with great command. You couldn't wait to throw the next pitch because you felt as if you were the guy in charge. And if you can initiate that and hold that advantage, I think that's a big plus for pitching.
Well, it becomes a mindset, too. You know it's going to work. There's not, I hope this works, or I think that this will work. You know that it's going to work. And it's like one pitch just leads into the next and sets up the other until you get that out and then move on to the next guy. And that's the mindset. Next.
A ball, 2 strikes now to Pedroia.
And let's not diminish the fact that not only are these guys so talented across the board, but the competition. No one wants to be the guy to drop the baton. Everybody, listen, you see a guy in front of you put up a great outing, you want to top it. And the next guy, one after the other, and no one wants to be the weak link.
Two. Pedroia out short to first, his first time. And his bat seems to be peaking near the end of spring training. The last 10 days or so, he swung the bat well with good results.
Are such an important part of what this team is trying to accomplish, that being the Boston Red Sox. A healthy Dustin Pedroia out at second base.
Under it, and a high popper back of third. Pierce will not have room. Ball turning out of play. The count holds at 2-2. Well, you look at Boston and what they've done. Of course, adding David Price is very big. He's going to be their opening day starter and lead their rotation. And Kimbrel out of the bullpen. So you've got 2 big arms right there to lead the bullpen and the rotation.
Oh, of course, Carson Smith can be nasty, too. It's just a matter of his health.
And the steal by Holt on ball 3 to Pedroia.
And Drew Smyly, at times, be a little bit deliberate to the plate with that high leg kick. And Brock Holt, with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, first movement, plenty of time to get in safely at second base.
Yeah, you're talking about Carson Smith, sidelined with a forearm strain. Red Sox thought a year ago that their rotation would be better than it was. They bolstered it by putting Price at the top, and we'll see how the rest of it works out. Casale recovers on that pitch to go down to Lodi and complete the strikeout of Pedroia.
You know what? A really nice job there by Curt Casale. A swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. If this ball gets by him, now potentially you got a couple of base runners out there, but he did a nice job of keeping that ball in front where he could make a play on. That was well done.
Yeah, that's a great point that you make there, because coming in, the Rays had hoped that he could improve on this particular part of his game, and he has this spring.
He went down for the backhand, but enough to keep it in front and make a play. And you know what? Listen, like, you come into spring training, you want to improve certain areas of your game. You saw what he was capable of with the bat last year. Now you work on the defensive side of things, handling a pitching staff, balls in the dirt, and he has certainly put the time in.
Strike the count to Bogaerts. One and one. For the Red Sox with the leadoff walk and the steal by Holt. Have a man in scoring position for the first time. One out now. One ball, two strikes. Red Sox are playing a split squad, and as we mentioned, they have some pretty good names in this lineup here. The other side of their split squad playing the Pirates, and David Price is pitching there. Down and in and blocked by Casale. 2-2.
That's where all that hard work pays off. When you think about, even in that situation, if you get Brock Holt able to move up to third with less than two, a lot easier to score him from there. Every pitch, every play matters.
Boy, that's a part of the game when you start to break down. Every 90 feet, crucial. Either to prevent a runner from taking that extra 90 feet, or if you're the team with men on, you want that additional 90 feet. And a cut and a miss. Bogaerts strikeout number 6 for Smiley.
Well, that's where using the entire strike zone, and on that particular pitch, taking it below the zone, but still deadly because of the arm. Look at the angle. Look at the angle created on that pitch. Well, that ball just heading down, down, down. You're not sure. Bottom of the strike zone or just below. 2 strikes you got to protect. And you miss.
1-0 the count on David Ortiz. Smiley working his way through this lineup for the second time. He retired the first 9 men he faced before walking Holt to open this inning. There's that one in there for a strike. Give Smiley the advantage. 1 and 2. Rays will see the Red Sox at Fenway the 3rd week of April. And then they don't see them for a long time. They have a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series against Boston starting on the 19th. And the Red Sox don't come to Tropicana Field until the end of June.
So guess what that means? You've got 16 games against the Red Sox starting in June. You're going to see a ton of...
Foul out of play. You know, here's the other thing. Think about this. The Rays see them for 3 games in April. And then they see them for 3 games in September.
That's
so
all.
the months in between, these teams are going to get to know each other rather well.
How many incidents with the benches potentially clearing will you see in those 4 months?
That's a gentleman's game. I'm sure they'll behave themselves. The ball, 2 strikes, the count to Ortiz. Well, he fouls it again. 60 pitches now for Smiley. He had made 37 through the first 3. Strikes out Ortiz. So after walking the leadoff man, he strikes out the side. 7 strikeouts. The last 6 outs have been recorded via the strikeout. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Tampa Bay. The first, that's the only run of the game so far. Reminder to celebrate Kevin Kiermaier's Platinum Glove Award with a special pregame ceremony Saturday, April 16th. Fans get a collectible bobblehead presented by Dex Imaging. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com today. Rays up.
Well, you gotta love having this guy behind you when you're out on the mound. The plays that he's able to make, the ground that he's able to cover. This was the platinum standard right here. Boy, oh boy, that would have been a leadoff home run in Baltimore and going way up and over the wall to make that catch. Chris Archer, you know how appreciative he is. A little doff of the hat and then right back to work. But boy, he was well deserving of both the gold and the platinum glove. Maybe the best defender at any position in the game of baseball.
Well, when you look at the runs saved, off the charts. He goes back, he comes in, he goes to his left, he goes to his right. And he's highly entertaining as well.
He finishes strong. He churches up a couple of plays. He's got a strong arm. Listen, he's a high-energy guy, and he enjoys playing the game of baseball. And how many fly balls is he going to grab for you on a given night?
Yeah, you want that guy in the game, playing defense behind you for sure.
You know, the other thing, the part of his game, the highlights get shown. We just saw a couple of great catches. It's the little things that will never show up in the box score. Backing up throws to second base. Being well positioned in being that second defender on a ball that's hit to left field. The hustle, charging in on a potential play and an overthrow that maybe never happens, and he just jogs back to his position, but he has hustled and put himself in position. No one ever sees it. Those are the things you don't see.
You see him hustle out ground balls when he's hitting. You see him hustling on the bases. He hustles just as much in the outfield defensively as he does when he's hitting. Brad Miller, out on strikes.
Number 28, third baseman.
And massage therapy on Chris Archer's right lat. Very important part of that, getting that ready for opening day. Making sure everything's nice and loose on that side.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, you have a center fielder who plays the kind of defense he does behind you, and then he does that as well. High pop-up by Steve Pearce. Shaw down the line and cannot get there in time. Leone was coming out from back of the plate, decided to let Shaw coming in from third, at least in theory, a little better look and angle, but it drops out of his reach.
We've seen pop-ups here at Port Charlotte Sports Park, and the ball can just blow all over the place. You get that right field to left field, kind of knocks balls down from time to time, and that one completely misplayed, and probably because of that wind.
You know, we've seen Shaw play first base a lot. Good bat. We've now seeing him play third, and he is in a battle with Sandoval. There's talk about trading Sandoval. Rumors about a deal with San Diego, which would open third base for Shaw. That's a possibility, I guess.
And that's the kind of impression that he has made and the kind of production that Boston has seen from him over the course of his playing time last year and into spring training this year. Listen, for Boston, when Dave Dombrowski came in as the general manager this year, and you bring in a Craig Kimbrell, you bring in a David Price, it's not to rebuild. It is to go for it. And so they are going to play their best players. Period. End of discussion. That's what they're in it for this season.
You know, the interesting thing about that as well, and we've talked about the information age of baseball, the analytics and so forth. And every club, it seems, has some level of that. The Red Sox really embrace that, and it appears that they've taken a little more traditional approach. This one in on the hands of Pierce, and that's going to be foul, just out of the reach of Holt. So a couple of those, one foul short of third, and this one just outside the left field line. The Red Sox seem to have taken, under Dombrowski now, more of a traditional approach than they've had when they appeared to be significantly in the information side of things the last few years.
Well, look what they did last year with the starting rotation. They went with a bunch of number 2 and 3 guys to get a lot of ground balls. They went with it, guys that keep the ball on the ground, no true ace, so to speak of. Good pitchers, but more of the ground ball type. Let's utilize the infield and keep that ball away from the monster, and that did not go very well.
Craig and Wright handles this one off the bat of Pierce. 2 gone.
And that starting rotation last year, 13th in the American League in ERA. Bullpen wasn't much better, and so a little bit different philosophy this year, going back to, like you said, more of a traditional style, and we'll see how it plays out, because when you go through the American League East, you can make a pretty good case for almost every team in the division to win the division and to finish last.
And when you look at all the prognostication that has gone on, depending upon the outlet, the publication, the entity that's doing the forecasting, you see these teams pick from top to bottom. Ray's a good example. There have been people who pick them to win it, people who figure they'll finish in the middle, and people who figure they'll finish lower than that. 2 strikes now on Dickerson. I really think that's going to make the East a lot of fun, because you have some clubs, you have some pretty good clubs, but you can also look at teams and point out some areas that should prevent anybody from running away with it.
Every team, they absolutely have their issues. Some teams in more than one area, but it's going to be who steps up. Really, who steps up, because you can point to a tough spot or more than that on each team. And so if they get some production there that you didn't expect, or a guy has a bigger year than you thought, and you're right, it's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch it unfold over the next 6+ months.
A ball, 2 strikes to Corey Dickerson. He went out to Pedroia, who again is stationed in short right, a couple of steps into the outfield here with the shift on. Ray scored a run in the first. Geyer singled, and Miller's double got him home. Miller cut down trying to stretch it into a triple, and that's been it. Nothing else against this young right-hander.
Well, he has absolutely settled in nicely after the first couple of hitters. Started working in some of the off speed, moving the fastball around the zone.
Dickerson lifts it into left. Brock Holt puts it away, and the Rays are finished in the fourth. Headed on to the fifth inning. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Rays lead 1-0. We're moving into the fifth inning. Danny Farquhar is going to be the new pitcher. Drew Smyly, 4 innings and 61 pitches, and we're happy to have Drew join us right now. And congratulations on what's been a fun spring for you. Things have worked out pretty well.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm happy to be healthy right now. Looking forward to starting the season. Pretty much have our whole team ready to go, so that's a big difference already from last year, and we're ready to go.
Hey, Drew, great outing this afternoon. You know, the one thing that I did notice, you know, obviously 4 innings, 7 strikeouts, and this is not always easy to do, but it looked like you really tried to incorporate all of your pitches in today. The breaking ball, the changeup, moving the fastball around the zone, and when you've only got a few innings to work with, not easy, but boy, did you do it great today.
Yeah, I mean, that was my main focus going into today. I knew I only had 4 innings. I've been a little, I don't know what the word is for it, but I haven't been throwing my curveball as hard as I'd like. And I made that a point of emphasis today to really let it go, kind of let it eat, and see what it does, see how the hitters react to it. And I got great results from it today.
Hey, let me ask you about the changeup. We've seen that a little bit more this spring.
Definitely. I mean, that's been one of my biggest pitches this spring. I'm really excited about it. It's been a constant battle for me my whole career, really, to have a good feel for that pitch. It's the ultimate feel pitch, and it's always been tough for me. But this off season, I made it a point to really throw it, try to get a good feel for it, so where I can throw it in any count. And when game started, I continued it, not really caring the result of the at bat, just throwing it in a good situation. And I've gotten great results with it, and I'm really excited to take that pitch in the season and see where it leads me.
You know, I hear a lot of pitchers talk about that as the ultimate feel pitches. Is it just repetition that helped you get that feel?
I think so. It's definitely repetition. You got to throw it in games. I mean, that's where I've shied away from it. You know, you get out in a big league game and you don't want to throw your 4th pitch when you're in a tight situation. You want to go right to your go-to. And so it's hard unless you're really confident in it. And I use this offseason, I use spring training. You know, before in the past, it might have been where I have to compete in spring training to make a spot. And I'm still, you know, not sure whether or not I should throw it or just attack hitters the way I'm used to. This spring, I knew I had a spot, and if I just stayed healthy, and I wanted to really focus on that and try to up my game.
Hanley Ramirez with a base hit the other way here. So the Red Sox with a man on, nobody out.
Hey, Drew, so much of your success involves working the ball around the strike zone, and just let people, kind of peer behind the curtain a little bit on how difficult it is. Well, I mean, hold on. he's in there. No, and how difficult it is with your arm angle to be able to drive the ball downhill to the bottom of the zone, but yet be able to elevate at the same time. You don't see too many guys that are capable of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think a lot of people are blessed in different ways. Archer, for example, he gets to throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. I have a really good feel for pitching. It's always been easy for me to be around the plate, to throw strikes. That's my #1 goal every start is I have to throw strikes. I have to get ahead, stay ahead. If I'm getting behind, these hitters are too good, and they'll end up beating you in the long run. So I've always been good at just attacking guys, and I make that my #1 point. Like, just get ahead, go right after him. I only throw it 90, 92, but I know my ball's sneaky, and I know if I get ahead, the advantage is on my side. So I'm always thinking early in the count. Doesn't matter what pitch I throw it for a strike.
Since you've been over here almost from the beginning, talking about Chris Archer and hitters' reactions to 98, but we see hitters react to your stuff almost the same way they react to a guy who throws much harder.
Well, I think it's all about deception. I agree. I have pretty solid deception for the feedback I have from the hitters. Even when I face our hitters, they all say, they're kind of like, "What pitch was that? What are you throwing?" And it always makes me laugh because I don't know what I do. It's hard, but I just try to make the ball move. There's no secret. A lot of people focus on they want this exact action. As long as my ball is doing something, I'm happy with it. I don't want it to be straight. I want the hitters to be a little uncomfortable. And to do that, you have to move their feet. You have to go up and down with it. You have to mix speeds. And, that's my strength, and I try to play to that every game.
What a great feeling that must be when hitters are going, what was that pitch?
And there's only a couple to pick from. I mean, come on.
I don't know, man. I see my games on TV, and I'm always like, I can't believe they missed that pitch. But I guess it's a different angle from the hitter's eye.
Well, the game looks a lot easier on TV.
Yeah, it does. Trust me, it's not that easy when you're on the mound.
That's for sure.
Listen, that's one of the truest things ever told to me. Old manager Mike Hargrove said the further you would get away from the field, the easier the game looks.
Yeah.
Even from the dugout into the stands on TV. But boy, when you're out in the middle of it, that game moves fast.
Man, when you're in the box, when I'm, the few times I've got to hit in the NL, and I think about a fastball away. It looks like a mile away from me, and I just can't believe hitters turn on this pitch. And they're good.
Hey, speaking of that, don't you think that it's an advantage to a young pitcher to actually have to hit once in a while?
I think it definitely gives them an idea of the strike zone, of the plate.
I sure do.
Before I got a chance to hit, I didn't really know the difference between an inside fastball and an outside fastball. It's hard to tell when you stand on the rubber. And then you get in the box, and it's night and day from a fastball in and a fastball away, and they're both strikes. So
it's really close to you.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's a mile away. How are they calling that a strikeout?
Those guys are pretty impressive, so they make us always stay on our toes.
Yeah, well, Drew, it's been fun chatting with you. It's been fun watching you this spring, and we can't wait to get this thing started in just 4 days.
Neither can we, guys. We're all looking forward to it.
All right, thanks again.
All righty, thank you, guys.
Drew Smyly with us here. A great outing here, 4 innings for Drew Smyly. Danny Farquhar with a couple strikeouts after giving up the base hit to Ramirez, and now we've got a pitching change coming. With the Rays leading the Red Sox 1-0. Drew Smyly making the start for the Rays, and another good outing for him this spring, but one right after another.
Well, what a way to wrap up the spring portion of the schedule. Drew Smyly, 4 innings, did not give up a hit, worked around a leadoff walk. Last 6 outs came via the strikeout. As you see, he ended up with 7, and he was able to do it in that very efficient 61 pitches. A lot of fun to watch today.
And now another left-hander enters the game with 2 outs and a runner at second here in the 5th. Dana Evelyn in camp, and here we are in the closing days. He's battling for a job, and here we have a matchup where Jackie Bradley Jr.'s due up, and the veteran lefty's in there.
Well, Dana Evelyn, well-traveled, but I'll tell you what, he's got an opportunity here with the Rays this spring. He's thrown the ball very well, and like you said, anytime you can get down to that last week and still be in the mix, you've done a heck of a job.
Well, the Rays have a decision to make on him because he also has an option in his contract, so he could opt out, and they're going to have to make a decision. Do they keep a lefty here for exactly these situations or not? And the first pitch strike into Jackie Bradley Jr.
Now, these are nice problems to have, though, when you've got a surplus of quality arms and quality position players where you've got to make some tough decisions, and that's the name of the game.
Chopper foul, 0-2. By the way, we'll be chatting with Jim Hickey in the bottom half of this inning. Always great to hear his insights on pitching, just to watch what he's done with this pitching staff through the years and the kind of spring that has unfolded here. Off the end of the bat, foul. A 2-strike count. Ramirez, who singled, stole second, on at second with 2 outs. Ground ball, and that's scooped by Loney. Evelyn off the mound to cover the bag to retire the Red Sox in the 5th. They leave a man. We'll head into the bottom of the 5th, and we'll chat with Jim Hickey when we return. Rays picked up their run in the 1st, and we're happy to be joined by Jim Hickey, the Rays' esteemed pitching coach. And Jim, it's been a great spring. You have to like what you've seen out of this staff.
Well, I do like what I've seen so far, but first and foremost, apart from Brad Boxberger, we've been extremely healthy, knock on wood, and that's really what you look for coming out of spring training. On the other hand, you know, if you're healthy and you're not performing well, it's a little bit of a downer. So these guys have actually been performing very well. So it's been a very successful spring.
Hey, Jim, every year you come in, there's new faces, different pickups. It seems like you rebuild the bullpen all the time, always successful. But what is your message to these guys at the beginning of spring training? Because it seems as if even with new faces brought in every year, people respond, guys respond, and perform admirably.
Just keep the line moving. Don't be the weak link. You know, I think it actually it goes back to beginning years ago where you just needed to kind of change and maybe build a new culture, you know, of of the team, from the 100 loss type of a team, that we had been for a long time, to the type of team that we expect to be year in and year out right now. And I really think that's probably the difference, the culture, the expectations. Obviously, there's a lot of talent in the room as well.
1-1 to Susie Jr. to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Loney and Beckham to follow. Jim, we've had a chance to earlier today chat with Kevin Cash, and we talked about Ramirez going to the bullpen. Leon finds it and now does make the catch for the first out. The one guy that we know is going to be a major part of that bullpen, and I'd just like to get your insight on the opportunity that this affords Colomé.
Well, I don't believe that we're going to name a closer per se. That being said, someone has to get those final 3 outs of the ball game, and it's not an easy job. We've got a lot of guys down there that are capable, but I would assume, standing right here right now, that Alex would probably get the lion's share of those opportunities until Brad gets back. That being said, you might see him pitch in the 7th inning also on opening day.
Loney the other way, and Holt runs it down and left.
That's a good spring training at bat right there.
There have been a number of them today.
Yeah.
A couple of early bunts, early swings.
And anyway, I think that Alex is certainly up to the task. I think if you did just anoint him the closer, I think you'd do an admirable job. His stuff has really gotten better. And his very last time out right here, it was as sharp as I've ever seen it. He closed the guy out to end the inning with a 92-mile-an-hour slider that, I mean, the thing slid the width of the plate. It was a legitimate slider at 92 miles an hour. So the stuff is there. And, he's not afraid of that at all. He's wanted to be a relief pitcher for a number of years, actually. So I'm expect him to be extremely productive wherever it is he pitches.
Yeah, the guys talk about him being almost low-key in the clubhouse, but on the mound, there's a completely different guy. Beckham up the left field line, Karam out to Holt, and they're going to hold Tim to a base hit. So the demeanor changes when Colomé goes to the mound, apparently.
Well, he's a super nice guy, casual, low-key type of a guy. On the mound, I don't think he's intimidating as some of the guys we're talking about. However, I know that he fears nothing. He's out there, and he's not afraid of anybody, anyone, any situation. He actually embraces it. So he's got a little bit of a mean look to him, I guess, kind of like Fernando Rodney did, back when he was here as well. But they're both kind of teddy bears.
Hey, Jim, talk a little bit about Enny Romero coming into camp, seemingly, at least so far in spring training, making that adjustment to be more efficient. Talk a little bit about Enny.
Well, he's done great things in a very short period of time. Later last season, he basically eliminated his windup, and not only did he eliminate the windup, he simplified his stretch delivery as well, just to keep it basic as he possibly could. He's had some really good success with it. He's carried it over, used it throughout the course of the winter as he worked out. He's come in here and he's just filled up the strike zone. And I'll tell you what, he is one of those guys that he's probably not on the tips of people's tongues right now, but I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be a huge contributor to our success.
No, I think there's no question about that. But you know what? Go back to what you said just a little bit earlier. Take us through that process of eliminating a guy's windup during the course of a season.
Well, that's where he deserves a lot of credit, because he was a starting pitcher throughout the course of his minor league career. He had a windup, and not only a windup, but a pretty elaborate type of a windup. I don't know if you remember, he came in trying to look a little bit like Louis Tiant last year during spring training, and he had some things that were just a little bit unorthodox. And bottom line was he was nowhere near as effective as his potential was. And Stan Borowski and I actually just kind of point blanked him one day out in the outfield and said, "Hey, try this," and he did. And he took it into the ball game, and he had some success, and it looked good, and he started to feel it a little bit, and he just embraced it. And he deserves a lot of credit, because it's tough to make a change, period, let alone make a change of your first go-round in the major leagues.
A 2-0 count here to Matuk with Beckham at first. 2-1. Rays picked up a run in the first. This is the first base runner they've had since then.
Jim, I've got one last question, and I asked Jake Odorizzi a little bit earlier, second inning, talking about the potential for this starting rotation. What do you think the ceiling is for this rotation?
I'll tell you what, I don't want to jinx us at all, but you look at these guys and how talented they are, and we're healthy, and the success that we've had and where they are right now. I mean, this rotation has a chance to be as good as any rotation that we've had here over the years, and that's certainly saying a lot. And I also think that even though the bullpen probably doesn't have those household names in it, it's going to be very good as well. And then you start entertaining thoughts of Alex Cobb.
There's a shot deep to left, and that's going to get out of here.
Another good spring training at bat.
A very good spring training at bat for Mikey Montauk. We saw a lot of that last year in the 6 or 7 times he was up with the club. And he got into that 3-1 pitch. Hits it out to give the Rays now a 3-run lead. It's 3-0.
When Mikey Montauk dropping the barrel of that bat on a ball down and in, quick with the hands through the zone, and a strong kid. Know that. That was a rocket.
That was a rocket, all right. You know, you talk about the rotation that we have, and then you start entertaining thoughts of Alex Cobb coming back sometime around August the 1st. A guy like Chase Whitley. We don't even talk about Johnny Venters, who is rehabbing diligently, you know, a chance to impact this club as early as probably June. You know, with the emergence or the development, the continued development of somebody like Blake Snell and the guys that we saw earlier in spring training, the Jacob Farias and the, you know, guys like Schultz and Guerreri. It's just a very, very exciting time to be a Ray, especially to be the Rays pitching coach.
I'll tell you, we were fired up about the season beginning before the game started and before this conversation. Now we're even more fired up.
Well, you know, sometimes the best laid plans, you know, go to waste, but we are really deep. We're really, really talented. And if we keep our health, I think you're going to see really good things out of us.
Well, which begs the question then. We know that you love your time down here in Port Charlotte, but after the game tomorrow, do you drive back home in uniform?
Well, you're half right. I'm going to drive back home because I'm going to go up to the Orlando area, the Disney area, and spend the night at the house over in St. Cloud, Florida. But I think I will shed the uni and take a shower.
All right, Jim, always great to visit with you. We appreciate the time here, and we're truly looking forward to getting this thing started on Sunday against the Blue Jays.
As am I. All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks. All right, Rays with a couple runs on the home run by Montauk. 3-1 shot, 2-run blast as he hit it out to left, and the Rays lead 3-0.
Question my passion.
Rays with a run in the first, 2 runs in the 5th on the home run by Mikey Montauk, who's playing left field today. And we head into the 6th. Rays have made a couple changes. Loney out of the game. Bowers takes over at first base. Jake Bowers in there. And Erasmo Ramirez on the hill now for the Rays, pitcher number 4.
Oh, a tremendous season last year for Erasmo. We saw, well, these are the overall numbers. We saw a little snippet of what he was able to do after the beginning part of the season, which did not go well, and He will be out in the bullpen to start the year. And Dwayne, you made an interesting point talking about if there was one guy that could handle it and handle it well, it would be Erasmo, and just how easygoing he is.
Here's the bunt, and play it first, close out there. Leon putting down the bunt, and Casale getting out from behind the plate to get the hitter Leon at first.
Now, you could not have placed that bunt any better if you were Sandy Leon, but you got to credit Curt Casale. Look how quickly he comes out from behind the plate, has to cover some ground, throw from an odd angle, moving away from first base. All around tremendous play by the Rays catcher.
Now back to the top of the order. Here's Brock Holt. Pitch is a strike. Holt, one of 2 base runners Rays pitching allows through the first 5. He walked in the 4th. Ramirez singled in the 5th. And now 2 strikes on Holt here in the 6th inning. There's Eddie Romero loosening in the bullpen. So Ramirez will be in the bullpen. As we mentioned, the Rays with 8 days off in their first 47 games. So they start the year with a 4-man rotation. Boy, I'm not sure any club over the long haul, and really it goes back 6, 7, 8 years now with the Rays and their run of success. I'm not sure a team has consistently built and handled bullpens better than the Rays have. Holt the second out here in the 6th, and it appears they're on the verge of doing it again this year.
It seems like they have had that ability to go out and identify a guy who his stuff has not diminished at all, coming off of a subpar season and looking and saying, what can we do differently to make this guy better? Because he's not hurt and the stuff is still there. And so they're able to go in and get them kind of quietly. And then all of a sudden, Jim Hickey doing his homework on these pitchers over the course of the winter. They come into spring training with a game plan. They present it to the veteran pitcher who buys in and then flourishes. And we've seen it over and over and over again.
The interesting thing about that, people talk about the numbers used, all the information that's used today. I really think for the Rays, it's a combination of analytics, all those numbers, all that information, and the eye test as well.
If you don't include the eye test, it all works together. You just can't go off of a printout. You just can't go off of, well, this looks good out here. If you combine the two, and when you do that, each one of them kind of backs the other one up. They work in tandem, and then you've got something special out in front of you, and so you've got to be able to incorporate both, and they do.
And Pedroia is out on strikes, a 1-2-3 inning for Ramirez in the 6th. 10 strikeouts for Rays pitching. Nothing. Rays lead the Red Sox. Bottom of the 6th inning coming up. Rays offering new weekday specials all season long. Enjoy discounted hot dogs, kids tickets, and many more weekday deals throughout the 2016 regular season. For more information, visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Rays up. Well, here's the opening few weeks of the season. The Rays opening at home against the Blue Jays beginning Sunday. They're in for 4 quick trip up to Baltimore and then right back against the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago White Sox before the Rays hit the road and go to Boston and New York against the Red Sox and the Yankees. Marcus Stroman against Chris Archer. Our coverage for opening day against the Blue Jays begins at 3 p.m. on Fox Sports Sun. Rays will have the leadoff man, Brandon Guyer, to begin the bottom of the 6th. Rays picked up a run in the first when Guyer singled and scored on Miller's double. 2 more runs in the 5th on the Mikey Matuak home run. And the first pitch too low. A ball, no strikes. Brad Miller will be next, and then Steve Pearce is due. 2-1. Pitch stays in. 3 balls and a strike. Guyer lifts it into center. It's Jackie Bradley Jr. And Guyer's the first out. Brad Miller about to step in. Miller 1 for 2. Wendell Rijo has taken over at second base for Pedroia. Here's a high shot deep to right. Great carry. Gone. Home run into the Rays bullpen off the bat of Brad Miller. And the Rays make it 4-0.
That was a really nice job by Brad Miller. Looked like that was going to be a changeup, and did a nice job of staying back, staying in rhythm. Timing was perfect. Boy, Dan got underneath it with some carry. Not easy to get the ball out to right field here on some days, but he powers it out and drops it right into the glove of Eddie Romero.
Steve Pearce fouls one out of play. Beyond the berm in the left field corner. One and one now. Rays with 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 home runs and a double among the 5. Up the middle and a base hit for Pearce. 1 out single.
Number 10, left fielder,
of these Rays regulars still in this ball game, getting some at-bats. Steve Pearce now looks like he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner. Nice to end on a good note. A hard hit ball right back up the middle.
Well, Pearce came into the game 8 of 21 and 1 for 3 today. Here's Corey Dickerson.
Running first base number 16, Daniel Robertson.
You know, the good thing about Pearce is that he appears absolutely healthy. Pearce early in the spring had some tightness in his calf. 1-1, so he's swinging the bat well now. We've talked a lot about the 3 left-handed bats added to this lineup, but Pearce, a right-handed bat, is going to be counted on to be a major part of the offense. Spending some time with Derek Shelton down there.
Now this is a game of constant learning, constant adjustments, and you're doing it every day over, you count spring training and then the postseason, and you're getting to that 7.5, 8 months range. Never slow down.
And a snap throw. Robertson back end at first. Robertson running for Pearce. One on with 1 out, a run home on the Brad Miller home run. Breaking ball down and in, fouled away. Dickerson has grounded out and hit a fly ball to left so far in this game. 0 for 2. Foul right back into the top of the screen. Holds the count at 2-2. Happy to have Steve Pearce join us from the Rays dugout. And Steve, number one, welcome to new surroundings, and this club is happy to have you.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
I want to tell you the way we talked about it earlier, BA and I. If you hit for this club the way you hit against it, things are going to be really good here.
Well, I always feel like I always hit well at the Trop, so you know, I'm excited for the season to start, man. I'm chomping at the bit.
Well, half the games being played there. You, of course, coming over from Lakeland. Talk about getting a chance to come back home and play for this team.
It's very exciting. You know, I haven't played at home since high school. So, you know, I'm going to have a lot of chance to, for my friends, family, to see me play. So this is definitely exciting, especially for this point in my career.
What about your impressions, obviously playing against the Rays a ton, you know, in the American League East, and then coming over to this team, impressions before playing against them and then coming over and joining them?
Well, this team's always been a grinding team. You know, they were a team that you had to bring your A game. You know, they always grinded, and it looked like they always had a lot of fun in the clubhouse or on the field. And, you know, now I'm seeing it when I'm here. I mean, this is just a fun team. We have a great chemistry on and off the field.
How long does it take you when you join a new club like that to feel that way?
Well, it was instant here. As soon as I got in there, you know, I played against these guys for 2.5, 3 years. So, you know, they knew who I was, and you know, they welcomed me with open arms as soon as I got here. It was instant comfort as soon as I walked in the clubhouse.
You know, when you come into camp, be with the Rays or anybody else, when you come into camp this year, what are you working on? What are you trying to accomplish in that month and a half so when the regular season is getting ready to start, you're locked in?
You know, I'm just looking for at-bats, you know, just to get comfortable at the plate and just be ready for the opening day. And, you know, getting, you know, 3 bats today, and we have a couple more games, get more at-bats. And, you know, I want to be as comfortable as possible going into the regular season.
Is there a certain number of at-bats that you look to get during the course of a spring training, or is it more of a feel thing as you close down at the end?
Definitely a feel. You know, I'm looking for a feel going into the regular season. I want to be comfortable in the box, you know, and I know mechanics will take care of themselves. So right now it's all about, you know, getting reps and trying to find that feel.
Dickerson extending this at-bat. That's the 12th pitch of the at-bat.
Yeah, that was a good at-bat.
And it's caught by Bogaerts for the second out.
Steve, you bring some versatility to this team. We saw you at third base today. Know you can play some first, have gotten some outfield work. Have they told you exactly how you were going to be used, or is it just all hands on deck, be ready for anything?
I think just be ready for anything, and you know that's how I've been my whole career anyway. I've always showed up to the park not knowing where I'm going to play, so it's nothing new for me. I can play a lot of positions, so if you know somebody needs a day off, a DH day, or anything like that, I can step right in and fill their shoes.
Well, Steve, it's great, as we mentioned at the outset, to have you here. The versatility on this club, I think you're a perfect fit. Your versatility is going to not only give the club the opportunity to see you play different positions, but it's also going to help you get a lot of at-bats.
Definitely, you know, that's what I'm looking for. And, you know, like I said earlier, you know, I'm very happy to be here. This is a great team, and especially the chemistry that we have on and off the field is just great.
Yeah, we mentioned at the outset, this is day number 39 of spring training, so it's about time to start the regular season, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's been a long spring training, and it's ready to start the season. I think everybody here is ready, and we're all excited.
All right, Steve, we wish you the very best here, and we look forward to getting to know you a little better.
All right, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for being with us. So, pitching change for the Boston Red Sox, and we'll take advantage of this opportunity to remind you that opening day is just 4 days away. Remember to tune in Sunday as the Rays take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Our coverage on Fox Sports Sun begins at 3 o'clock, leading up to the first pitch and the beginning of another regular season. And it should be a lot of fun to see the Rays in the American League East this year, and it begins Sunday against the Toronto Blue Jays. Ramon Mendez, the new pitcher, second pitcher of the day. Cuevas worked 5 2/3 and gave up 4 runs, responsible for a man left on as he leaves. You know, it's interesting to every time we talk with a new player who joins the Rays, it seems 9 out of 10 times they acclimate almost immediately. You hear that a lot when they come over here.
And I may go a tad higher than 9 out of 10. I mean, it really is something. It's the culture that's been created. Jim Hickey talked about it, you know, creating that culture of don't be the weak link and just keep things rolling. But you have that kind of success with the atmosphere and environment that's been created, and that makes it easier for new guys to transition in. Says a lot about the character of the guys that are already on the team.
Well, Steven Souza Jr. in the box now with 2 outs. Robertson at first. And the fastball is too close. A 2-0 count. Rays scored a run in the first, driven in by Brad Miller. Brad belting a home run in this inning, and the other 2 runs scored on a home run by Mikey Matuk in the 5th. 2-1. At the knees, 2-2. Mendez thought he had the zone right there, just missed, and the count is full.
Well, thinking it was a borderline strike, and how in the world did Souza Jr. not go after it? That's what the thought process is. Now forced to come back into the zone, or at least be very, very close once again.
Up the middle, base hit to center. Robertson heads to third. He was breaking on that 3-2 two-out pitch. The Rays have men on the corners.
Well, Steven Souza Jr., one of the hitters that the Rays would really like to get going here the last few days of spring training and hit the ground running when the regular season starts, does a nice job of staying inside that baseball. A full count fastball in, doesn't try to do too much with it, stays inside of it, uses the middle of the field with a great result.
Here's Jake Bauers getting his first plate appearance after taking over for James Loney at first. Rays got Bauers from the Padres a couple years ago. 1 ball, no strikes. First baseman, outfielder. Those numbers combined last year between Charlotte and Montgomery. 11 home runs total. Two and nothing. Souza Jr. back in at first. Pulled up the right side, and that ball is well out of play. Hit it a long way toward the right field corner, but out of play, and it's 2-1.
Just a tad too quick. That ball was launched. Well, you've got an opportunity here. The count in your favor. Still, runners on the corners.
Jake, part of the deal that involved Steven Souza Jr., a three-way deal among the Rays and the Padres and the Nationals. And Bauers wound up in the Rays organization from San Diego. There's Souza Jr. coming over from the Nationals. Foul right back into the screen. The count is 2-2. A miss. Bauer is out on strikes. Rays are finished in the 6th inning. They leave 2 but score 1 on the Brad Miller home run. Through 6, 4-0 Tampa Bay. With the Rays' new Big 22 plan, you can get tickets to the biggest games, matchups, and giveaways with tickets starting at just $25 per game. Purchase now and receive a Chris Archer emoji t-shirt. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com today. Changes for the Rays. Johnny Field takes over in left as we move to the 7th inning. Eddie Romero is on the mound. The 5th Rays pitcher of the day. He's going to face the middle part of the order, starting with Xander Bogaerts. And the pitch is a strike.
We talk about creating some downhill angle with some velocity. Well, you're going to see it when Eddie Romero is on the mound.
One and one. So he pitches with the new left side of the infield, and we'll get to that in a moment. Foul back, 1-2. David Ortiz will be next. It's Daniel Robertson at third base. Jake Hager has taken over at short. Robertson pinch running in the bottom of the 6th, and a base hit up the middle for Bogaerts. So the Red Sox pick up only their 2nd hit. They've had 3 base runners all day, a walk and 2 singles, and all of those hitters have led off innings with either a walk or the 2 base hits. And David Ortiz bats.
You just got to credit the Rays pitching staff. Everybody, you get to this part of spring training, you know, it's your final tune-up. You certainly want to head into the regular season with a full head of steam, but you also want to, you know, finish getting your work in. And you talked about Drew Smyly trying to go out there, really let that curveball go, throw it with more authority, use all of his pitches so that he feels good going into his start, and you just go right down the line. And the Rays have been able to do that really all spring long. I mean, one of the top pitching rotations and pitching staffs in all of baseball, and they have performed all spring.
It's covered up by Casale. It's 2-1. Pinch runner at first is Sue Lin, running for Bogaerts. A 3-1. Well, the key so far this spring to Romero, and we heard that discussion earlier with Jim Hickey, simplifying the delivery both out of the windup and the stretch. And he walks Ortiz. When he struggled, we would see him maybe have a couple of pretty good at-bats against opposing hitters, and then he would lose a hitter or two invariably and try to get back on track. And he's given up a single and a walk here to begin the seventh.
Well, and it always revolved around the command, because the stuff is certainly there. Andy Romero's got a live arm, tremendous fastball velocity-wise. It's a matter of commanding it in and out of the zone. I mean, wherever he wants it. Want it just on the edge, you know, in an 0-2 count, or do you want it outer third for strike one?
And this one stays up. 2-0.
Well, pitching coach Jim Hickey headed to the mound right now to talk to Eddie Romero, probably seeing something from in the dugout, not finishing his pitches, almost like he's feeling the ball towards home plate instead of letting it go and throwing it.
So a conference on the mound, 2 men on. Henry Ramos is running at first for Ortiz. Lynn is the runner at second. So for the first time today, the Red Sox have had 2 men on base at the same time. Romero falling behind Ramirez. 2 balls, no strikes. Ball headed out of play. Now 2-1. Ball headed toward the corner with some slice. It's going to stay fair. It's going to be a double. Lynn will score. Ramos will go back to third. And the Red Sox are on the board here in the 7th as Hanley Ramirez picks up his 2nd hit of the day.
Well, what a lack of command does is 2 things. Number 1, a lot of times it puts the hitter in a good hitting count. And number 2, it makes you more predictable. You're struggling with your command. You're going to lean on that fastball. And that's what he does right here. An elevated fastball, but Hanley Ramirez able to keep it fair up the line. And Boston starting to chip away.
Nick Longy's going to run at second. With Ramirez leaving the game after the double. Travis Shaw takes a big cut and fouls it back. Still nobody out in the inning with 2 men in scoring position. Popper back at third. Going to be a tough play, and Robertson can't get there. A run will score to make it 4-2. So Shaw cues a little looper out of the reach of Robertson. 2 runs in with men on the corners at first and third.
Well, didn't hit it well, but placed it perfectly. Travis Shaw kind of inside out on that breaking ball that didn't quite get away and able to get it out of the reach of Robertson at third. And now 4-2, runners on the corner and nobody.
Alan Craig Ground ball. Big. Beckham. Bowers to get the double play. The run scores. And suddenly it's a one-run game as a run scores on the double play. But the bases are empty now with 2 outs.
You'll take that. The way this inning has unfolded, not exactly how any Romero wanted it to go, but you do get that double play. They get a run, but you'll give that run up to get those 2 outs.
Bradley Jr. takes the ball. He has struck out and grounded out. That's a strike. Two and two. And a miss takes care of Bradley Jr. with a toss down to first. We're headed into the bottom of the 7th now. 4-3 Tampa Bay.
Boston Red Sox have cut into the Rays lead. It's now 4-3 as we head into the bottom half. And Dwayne, let's take a look here. The strengths and weaknesses of the American League East. You know, you think about the Baltimore Orioles. Now they have their their issues with the pitching staff, but just on their offense, a very powerful offense. But is it too one-dimensional? You know, this is a team that doesn't walk a lot. They don't steal a lot of bases. Long ball, yes, but very one-dimensional. Is that going to be an issue over the course of a season? The Boston Red Sox, a very balanced lineup. When you think about left-handed hitters, right-handed hitters, mix of veteran, mix of youth, but are they too top-heavy when it comes to the pitching staff? You've got David Price, your leader in the starting rotation, Craig Kimbrell, one of the most dominant closers, if not the most dominant closer in baseball out of the bullpen. What's going to be behind them and who's going to step up? New York Yankees, their ability to shorten games, especially when Aroldis Chapman comes back. Miller, Chapman, Betances at the back end, they're going to be able to shorten games, but will the veterans have one last kick in them? Got some age on that team. You think about CC Sabathia in the starting rotation, Mark Teixeira, Carlos Beltran, Alex Rodriguez. How much is left, and do they have one last kick? You go over to the Blue Jays, that offense, the best in Major League Baseball last year, and it wasn't even close. What's going to come out of the rotation? No real dominant number one type guy. Marcus Stroman could be that guy. Still too a little young to anoint him that. Then behind him, Marco Estrada already with some back issues coming into the season. Jay Happ, R.A. Dickey, what are they going to get from their rotation? And then the Rays, of course, the dominant starting pitchers. How are they going to piece together that bullpen until Brad Boxberger comes back?
And the 7th inning underway. Tim Beckham takes a strike. All of that tells you is that the East will be very competitive and a lot of fun to follow.
I'm exhausted.
Strike 2 to Beckham. I mean, you can make a case, and we talked about it earlier, depending upon the entity who somehow is projecting where these teams are going to finish, it's all over the place. Pick a team, and a team might be picked for first or fourth. Yeah, the Rays have found themselves that way. I think most of these teams have, because it's going to be very competitive. Beckham has a base hit on the day and a run scored against Ramirez. Now takes the count to 2-2.
You know, a lot of times too, when you see a division that is as well balanced as the AL East, you say, well, you've got to play well within the division, but outside of the division, you've got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. The problem is, when you look over the landscape in the American League, there are not too many weak teams that you need to go beat up on. You know, in the National League, you could have 4 or 5 teams win fewer than 70 games. You know, be down in the 60s with the win total. The American League, much stronger top to bottom, so there are no layups out there. You just got to play well all the time.
Well, that might, you know, you can make a case that you put a club together with good starting pitching, good pitching top to bottom, and plays the game correctly. That's going to be to their advantage.
Don't beat yourself. Fundamentally sound pitch, catch.
You know, the Rays have always been a team that pitches well. They've always protected that pitching with defense. And when you look back at a year ago, their defense could have been better, and their base running could have been better. And they've attempted to address that, I think, this year, this spring, to make the base running better. They like to go first to third and second to home more than they did a year ago.
Well, it's part of that new aggressive mindset, you know, from this lineup. And they've got guys that, you know, that have some speed, good base runners, maybe not prolific base stealers, but good base runners. And so every run counts. And you made that point earlier. Every 90 feet counts. It leads to runs.
A strike the count on Mikey Matuk, who hit the 2-run home run in the 5th. Ground ball, and then scooped by Lynn out at second and out at first on the 6-4-3 double play.
That was a pretty turn by the Boston middle infield on a ball that looked like it may be able to sneak into center field for a base hit. Instead, nice flip, great feed, and good turn and finish.
Kurt Casale takes one low. Base is empty, 2 gone. Casale 0 for 2 on the day. Pops it up the right side. Foul ball and into the stands, and no catch. 1-1.
Well, you can understand. Well, that was an awkward. You see pawing at that rib cage. Watch this, right up against the fence. Well, you expose, and even with that padding, that is not going to feel good.
There's a strike, 1-2. Two now to Casale. Ramirez on the hill. He was in a battle for that final spot on this Red Sox pitching staff in the bullpen, and he appears to have won that spot. Casale out on strikes. The Rays are finished in the 7th. We go to the 8th. It's 4-3 Tampa Bay. Score, the Rays lead the Red Sox moving into the 8th inning. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with National Alliance on Mental Health and their commitment to improving the lives of families and those living with mental illness. Learn more about how to be stigma-free. Visit foxsportsupports.com. Well, the Rays call upon Andrew Bellotti, their 6th pitcher of the day. Smiley started, worked 4. Farquhar, Evelyn, Ramirez, Romero, and now Bellotti. And Thomas Coyle stays in the game to play second base as well. And here in the 8th inning, Dan Butler leads it off. He took over for Leon in the 7th inning. Hits here in the 8th. Big cut right there and a miss. That's 1-1. In on him, and he pops him up. That ball is not playable, and the count goes to 1-2.
And the swing on that pitch right there was a byproduct of the previous pitch. A good changeup by Bellotti. It kind of slows the hitter down a little bit. Then you rush a fastball in there close to him, and they're just a hair late. Start getting a hitter in between. You're pitching from ahead in the count, and he's primed to be put away.
And a cut and a foul-tipped strikeout takes care of Butler. So Bellotti does take care of him on strikes.
Probably not exactly where Bellotti wanted this location, but the 2 previous pitches and it got Butler out of his swing just a little bit, and he comes up empty there.
It's Chris Marrero getting his first trip to the plate, and he looks at a strike. Brock Holt started in the leadoff spot. And a big uppercut and a miss there. play. So with Bellotti on the hill, 1 out, bases empty. Wilmer Dominguez behind the plate, taking over for Casale here in the 8th inning. Coyle at second takes care of that. Marrero is out number 2.
Number 11, second baseman, Wendell.
Rays also have a new right fielder, Justin Williams. He divided last year between Charlotte and Bowling Green, and then went to Australia and played for the Brisbane Bandits down there during the offseason. Out there in right field now. Wendell Rio with a strike. He took over at second base for Pedroia. Well, that pitch disappeared on him.
A couple of really nice breaking balls by Bellotti here. We've seen some good changeups, some sneaky good fastballs. Everybody, as you get closer and closer to opening day, they want to make sure all the pitches are working.
It's fouled back. You know, we chatted with Jim Hickey early, and he will demur any notion that he does such a great job. He'll be humbled about it, but it really is amazing when you see pitcher after pitcher get to this level and execute the way we've seen some of these pitchers execute.
Well, and then how many of them give a ton of credit to Jim Hickey? You know, he's got a reputation built up already around the league, but he just continues to build off of it by putting the time in, doing the work. You know, it's one thing to have a game plan and say, hey, I know that this will work. You've got to get the pitcher individually to buy in, and you don't have just one. You've got, 12, 13 over the course of a season. You may have upwards of 20 guys that are going to contribute over the 6-month season that have to buy in to what you're telling them. And that's what we see, the ease of guys buying in and then the success that follows.
I mean, all these pitchers that we see here, especially if they're still around late in camp, but some of them who were here only early in camp, you figure you're going to see them during the regular season at some point contribute. Bellotti picks up 2 strikeouts in the 8th. Three Rays lead coming into bat in the bottom of the 8th inning.
But how about this turnaround right here? The Rays offense, and we'll continue to talk about this because of that new approach, being more aggressive at the plate. You know, a hittable strikeout over, instead of taking it, be ready to hit and be ready to swing early if need be. And look what it produced. You know, before the trade deadline, April through the end of July, a little over 3.5 runs a game. But the last 2 months, look at the difference. Across the board, runners in scoring position, they were clutch, good on base, slugging better, and obviously that's going to lead to more runs, 4.7 runs a game. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see that dynamic play itself out over the course of a full season, because we talk about Jim Hickey getting the pitching staff to buy into certain things. Well, Derek Shelton, the hitting coach, and right on down management, everybody that was a part of that decision to be more aggressive. You still got to get a whole lineup to buy in, and you're doing that, you know, midstream. I mean, after 4 months of a season, they did that. The results followed. Will it continue?
Well, the Rays think so, and they've added a few pieces to the offensive puzzle to continue that momentum. That's going to be fun to watch. Here's Geyer chopping it down to first, and he is out. 1 pitch from Robbie Ross Jr., 1 out.
You know what I will find the most interesting is the Rays being more aggressive. They're being open about it. Any scout can watch and say that this lineup is being more aggressive. That word will get out there. And now the pitchers will then try to make an adjustment to that aggressiveness to get you out early in the count on their pitch. And so that's where the aggressiveness is great, but it's going to have to be mixed with discipline. And that will be the interesting dynamic, because there will be an adjustment made to the approach of this lineup. Will they be able to answer?
Two and 0 the count.
When you would face an aggressive hitter that you knew, like the fastball, like the first pitch fastball, it didn't mean you didn't give him one. But if you can locate, you'd give him one that looked good, but wasn't quite there. And you'd get a lot of early in the count outs on pitches that, you know, he's being aggressive, but probably he goes back and looks at it on tape. I probably shouldn't have gone after that pitch because it was close, but not where I needed it to be to drive it. And that's what you'll see opposing pitchers do.
Hager pops it up. The second baseman Rio handles that. 2 up and 2 down. Well, that's really the art of hitting. I think you always have to be aggressive, but it has to be a controlled aggression. And you see those wildly aggressive hitters. I mean, word does get out, and it doesn't take long, and they're in trouble. But if you can be aggressive and have the discipline that you mentioned, then it's a different dimension to hitting. Daniel Robertson up here with the bases empty and 2 outs, 1-0 the count to him. He entered as a bench runner in the 6th inning. Took over at third base from Pierce. 1-1. There's the Rays, got him from the Oakland organization and are very high on this young man. Two balls and a strike. Facing Robbie Ross Jr. Two and 2. Ross Jr., the 4th Boston pitcher of the day. Slicing toward the stands, and that's out of play. Full count. Strike 3, caught the corner, came back. Great Rays up and down in order, and we're headed into the ninth. 4-3 Tampa Bay. Rays leading. It's a 4-3 ball game. Boston scored 3 times in the 7th to close the gap. The Rays had built a 4-0 lead. Andrew Bellotti at a 1-2-3-8. And he will face Sue Lin here to open the 9th. Pops it up, foul. Robertson chases it, but no chance out of play. Lynn entered as a pinch runner for Bogaerts back in the 7th. Ramos will be next. Back to the hill. Ooh, high with a toss, but Bowers right down on the bag.
This sometimes can get a little bit unnerving. A little bit too much time, not really setting your feet, and then anytime a pitcher lollipops a throw, you get a little nervous because they're not used to making that throw. It's usually high velocity, high effort each and every time, and now you do this right here. We've seen those sail. Not that one. Good hops by Bowers.
And a cut and a miss by Henry Ramos. This will be his first at bat after running for Ortiz and scoring a run in the 7th. And to left. Field is there, and he makes the catch, adding just a hint of excitement to make that grab. And 2 gone in the 9th.
That ball hit well right at him, had some slicing action. You get a little bit of the wind involved. It's picked up a little.
Yeah, that wind has picked up toward the left field corner now.
We've seen that can wreak havoc here from right field all the way over to left field. Stayed with it.
Bases empty, 2 outs. Look, Longy up here. Into center field. That one is caught by Geyer, and 1-2-3 go the Red Sox in the 9th to give the Rays a 4-3 victory here over the Boston Red Sox today. 3 up and 3 down. Rays winners, their 12th spring victory of the year. For Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, great to have you with us. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast.
Opening day just 4 days away. The Rays and the Blue Jays at Tropicana Field. Our coverage begins at 3 o'clock. Now from Charlotte County, Florida. Thanks for looking in. So long until opening day.